This recording will be the last. I know it because today I woke up screaming again, and this time the scream didn't sound human. I touched my chest, right here beneath the sternum. There's a lump growing, pushing my ribs outward, and my eyes, God, my eyes, they used to be brown. Now when I get close to the mirror, I see the iris has been swallowed. It's black as midnight with violet streaks. This isn't an illness, no matter what the doctors say. I know it's an invitation. I have to tell the whole story, because the sea is calling me, and when I finish this tape, I'll walk to the ocean, and I'm not coming back. It all started with our stupidity. My brother Tomás and I arrived in La Paz, chasing the legend of the Pearl of Cortés. They said the pearl was so large, it held the conquistador's trapped soul, suffering for his crimes. We asked in every cantina. Fishermen crossed themselves and turned away. No one wanted to take us, until we found Carlos. He was an old diver, worn out. He had a terrible scar running from his temple to his jaw. He drank so his hands wouldn't shake. I remember his voice that night. I saw something down there 15 years ago, he told us. I didn't see it clearly, thank God, but I felt it watching me, like the water itself had eyes. I surfaced so fast, I almost killed myself with decompression. And I never went deep again. I asked him why he'd agreed to take us then. He poured another drink and looked at me. Because I need to know, he said. I need to see if I'm crazy. And because something is calling me. I dream about the pearl beds, and I wake up with the taste of salt in my mouth. The next morning on the dock, Maria intercepted us. She was an old local woman. Cataracts clouded her eyes, but she saw more than we did. She grabbed my wrist hard. Her nails dug into my skin, and she said, "The water remembers every diver who disturbed the bottom. Something lives there. It isn't fish. It isn't man. It's ancient." The Pericú didn't speak its name at night. She leaned in so close I could smell her breath. Herbs and death. She told me about her husband. Said the sea took him and returned him 3 weeks later. His body was covered in black pearls sprouting from his own flesh. Tomás laughed nervously. Told her, "It's superstition, old woman," and she let go of him and said, "Then why are your hands shaking, boy? Why have you dreamed of black water every night for 2 months?" Tomás went pale. He'd never told me that, but it was true. We set out at dawn. The sea was too calm. We geared up and jumped in. The thermal shock was brutal. The water was freezing, far colder than the chart said it should be. We started descending, and I want you to understand the silence. It wasn't peace, it was absence. At 30 meters, we saw schools of fish fleeing toward the surface, desperate. At 40 meters, the sunlight vanished. At 50 meters, I heard Carlos moan through the intercom. And at 60 meters, we found the beds. They weren't natural. The oysters were clustered around volcanic rock in patterns, architectural, like a temple, like an altar. And in the center, resting on black stone, there she was, the pearl. It was impossible, the size of a human heart. It wasn't black. It had depth indigo, violet, crimson, pulsing like old blood. Looking at it hurt me physically, as if gravity were pulling toward my brain. Tomás reached out to touch it. He moved slowly, like a sleepwalker. And then, the water changed. There was no current. There was intention. The Guardian uncoiled from the trench. My mind tried to give it shape, but it failed. It was there, and not there. It changed with every blink. Pale tentacles, then voids, then faces. Its body was covered in thousands of black pearls. Or were they eyes? Or were they the souls of so many divers before us? It moved without swimming, bending reality around itself. Tomás touched the pearl, and he screamed. It wasn't a scream of pain. It was a scream of knowledge. I saw his eyes through the mask. His pupils expanded until they swallowed the iris. They turned into pure obsidian. And from that darkness, something looked back at me. Something that knew my name. I ran. I left my brother behind, and I ran. When I surfaced, Carlos was gone. The boat was empty. Only wet footprints that ended at the gunwale. The sea had collected its dead. They found Tomás 3 days later, alive, but hollow. His skin was translucent. He had burned scars on his hands in the shape of the pearl. He never spoke again, but at night he made strange sounds, like he was talking to things that live in the deep. I fled La Paz. I moved from city to city, but the dreams followed me. Every night I dream I am the creature. I see through its eyes. And the years pass. And little by little, I realize Maria was right. It's a cycle, every 500 years. First, the indigenous people, then Cortés, now us. I'm 3,000 miles from the sea, but the thing in my chest pulses with the tide. They're coming for me now. I hear the chants in my dreams. I've always asked myself, is the creature protecting the pearl? Or is the pearl protecting us from the creature? I think they're the same thing. It's time. The water is calling me. I'm going home.